Friday, everybody. If you've been watching us on air, we've been following this breaking news out of Charlotte Douglas all morning long while you were sleeping. A Delta Airlines flight went off the runway after landing and got stuck in the mud there.
We're learning that the plane was carrying players from the Carolina Panthers. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane now live there at the airport. He was among the first there on scene. Richard, it so happened that we heard about this, thought it was strange. This happened at 2:30 in the morning. We're like, what plane is landing at? You actually got to the scene pretty quickly. And by being there, you actually encountered the Panthers players. And that's how we found out that this was a Panthers plane.
That's absolutely correct. There were a number of indicators that something was out of the ordinary. The first thing, when we got the call early this morning around 2:30, that this had actually happened. A plane had landed, and as it was taxiing to a gate, its landing gear got stuck in mud. They had to call for an emergency situation. You see this video. This is the plane we're talking about. It's Delta Flight 8860 coming out of Providence, the Providence, New England area, actually heading to Charlotte. Now, initially, when something like that happens, you go to the airport and you expect those passengers to be coming through the terminal to get their luggage and be on their way. But that wasn't the case. We quickly found out that those passengers were actually put on a charter bus, a series of charter buses, and brought to Wilson Air. When we got over to Wilson Air, of course, we realized that this was something a little bit different. We spoke to a couple of people off camera, players, we later found out, members of the Panthers. They were tight-lipped. A couple of them did say they were asleep when this happened, that they didn't know what happened. And then we started to piece together the fact that these were Carolina Panthers players. They were brought over to Wilson Air. That's where they actually took off from. One player did tell me, we came back here because this is where basically we took off from. You see some of these players coming off, as we look at video, off of those charter buses to get in their cars and to leave, going back to their homes. They had been scrimmaging the New England Patriots through the week and had that game just last night, a game that unfortunately lost 17-3, but that wasn't the big issue. When they landed, that was the big issue, the concerns they had. We did get a statement from Delta which said in part that all the people on that plane, that flight 8860, were safe. The plane landed. They explained about the landing gear and it getting stuck. We found out it was actually stuck in the mud. We can tell you as we come back here live that we did speak to representatives of the Panthers who said that they'll stand by the statement made by Delta Airlines. Of course, this is just part of Wilson Air. This is where charter flights go from, particularly the Panthers, the Hornets, and Charlotte FC all have charter flights from here. This is where players and team officials will park their cars. They'll get on a bigger plane. This is also part of Wilson Airfield. This is the charter section just over my shoulder a bit down there. You can't see it in our camera, but that is also Wilson Air Charter Center. That is where private jets, smaller jets, will also take off from and land from. And all of this, they share the runways with Charlotte Douglas. That's why that first alert sent us to Charlotte Douglas. Fluid situation. The good news in all of this is that everyone was okay. Just a mishap, and the Panthers are happy. All their players, everybody is safe and sound.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank goodness everybody's okay. Richard, we appreciate everything you've done this morning covering this story from the very beginning. You saw it first right here on WCNC Charlotte.
That's right.
Richard, thanks. All right, turning now, we're going to talk about the Olympics.
Yes.
It's winding down. Hard to believe.
No, it has been a thrilling
Yes, it has.
2 weeks. I'd say perhaps the best Olympics we've seen. But this weekend, the closing ceremony will mark the end of the 2024 Summer Games. While we're really sad to say au revoir to the Games, the closing ceremony is set to be quite the spectacle. Let's connect the dots. This ceremony will take place this Sunday, 2 p.m. right here on WCNC Charlotte. Jimmy Fallon and Mike Tirico are set to co-host the big event. Now, unlike the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony will be held at France's National Stadium, which is being transformed into a concert venue. More than 100 dancers will be featured, and world-renowned singers will perform. But organizers have been tight-lipped about who. One rumor is that Hollywood megastar Tom Cruise will perform a big stunt at the ceremony and to help pass the proverbial torch to Los Angeles for the 2024 Games. And that is connecting the dots. But before we get to the closing ceremony, still have some big events to crown. Team USA will race in both the men and women's 4x100 meter relay finals today.
So on the women's side, Sha'Carri Richardson helped the women secure a spot in the final after a close finish in the semis. For the men, it was an easy finish despite an awkward baton handoff. Both events will start at 10:15 this morning. Well, as for Noah Lyles, he says his Paris Olympics are over. He was originally slated to run today's relay, but will now sit out. The announcement comes after he finished third in the 200 meter, which was really his race, but he later revealed he tested positive for COVID on Tuesday. Lyles collapsed to the ground after that race and was later taken off the track in a wheelchair. He later posted on social media that it was the end of his 2024 Olympics.
Team USA's men's basketball will play for gold after a heart-stopping match against Serbia. This was always going to be a difficult one with three-time NBA MVP Nikola Jokic on the other side. But Team USA came to play, chief among them, Charlotte native Steph Curry, folks, scoring 36 points to bring Team USA back from what was a 17-point deficit at one point. They're going to play host nation France tomorrow for the gold.
What a nail-biter of a game.
It's one of the most exciting games I've ever seen. It's amazing. So it just shows a testament how great this Olympics is.
That's right, and the nail-biting continues with the men's 400-meter hurdles, the women's 10,000-meter race, and the men's triple jump. In the diving competition, it's the women's individual springboard final. And breaking, finally, we've been talking about it the whole time.
And not breaking news, just breaking.
Just breaking. Breakdancing begins this morning at 10 a.m.
Okay, as we head into the final days of the competition, here's a look at the latest medal count. Team USA still dominating the overall medal count with 103 podium finishes so far. China holds strong in second with 73 overall medals, and host country France is now in fourth, coming in just 9 points under Australia. And a reminder that while the Olympics will be on WCNC today, we've still got your news headlines covered. We're streaming live 10 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. Then join Ben and I right back here for a special Olympic Zone broadcast on a Friday at 7:30 tonight.
You guys have done a great job.
Yeah,
Good
job. What couple weeks?
A couple nights. Yeah, you look very comfortable doing sports, the two of you. Well, not really sports.
Well, the Olympic Zone is more like feature stories.
Shoot up straight, Sprinkle. I mean, come on.
And there's a Paris, food story in there every night as well, which makes you
then
very
we are
hungry.
Your people for that.
Yes. Cheese and wine.
Baguettes and cheese and croissants. We are your anchor.
Yes.
Effective sports.
That's right.
By the way,
take a look at this.
We can't talk about the Olympics without this right here. I'll take you back. The year was 2002. Kids running down the street, excited to see a local celebrity, Larry Sprinkle. More chiefly than that hair.
Oh, yeah, it's slow-mo.
I mean, seriously, how about that?
Yeah, that was actually 2021, December 20, right before the 2002 Winter Olympics, and that was on Wilkinson Boulevard. That was taking this slow.
Yeah.
It was headed to Salt Lake City.
I love it. Your hair needed its own commercial.
Yeah.
Well, we've done that, yeah, so that is a commercial. But it is a commercial for industrial strength Weatherman's hairspray. Both Chris and I are using this.
Yes.
It can withstand, we've both done the wind tunnel test, withstand winds up to 180 miles
Very
an hour.
impressive.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
It is impressive.
Joy Mott asking, are the Paralympics going to be televised? So I asked our team here, and they're saying, yes, there will be some on NBC as well as other channels, just like the Olympics.
Excellent.
And, of course, Peacock. You can download the app to not miss a single thing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, folks. It's been fun.
It has been.
There's more Olympic action this weekend.
That's right.
On WCNC. And then we'll see you back here Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye.